Tomcat Coleman. The only source covering blues across Asia and the Pacific.
We'll keep the train rolling, steady across the land, down along the delta to where it all began. And when the backbeat draws you near, it's the same thing that we all hear. Won't you get up, get on the blues train? Come on, get up, get on the blues train. Come on, get up, get on the blues train. Won't you ride? Won't you ride?
Yeah.
Ah, there's my microphone over here. Okay. We've got to find out which dial here to use. And listen, folks, we've got a very, very special show tonight. It's going to be a double feature, and you'll see how that unfolds. Anyway, let's listen to the rest of our music here on the song while we get ourselves organized and ready to go with Blues Asia TV, brought to you by the Blues Asia Network and UR Face Radio. Yeah. Okay, yeah, now here we are once again, right here at Blues Asia TV, and we've got a special guest tonight. And I tell you, one of the things that is happening since we've gone international is we are making a lot of new friends. And one of the friends we have made just in the past, how many days has it been?
2
days?
A couple of days, yes. Just as one of those meetings and greetings.
Yeah, and anyway, we are now friends with John Ferreira.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, and it's John's first time in Manila.
Yes, it is. It's my first time here in this beautiful part of the world, and it's a pleasure to meet Tom and his network and be here on his show. This is a great experience.
Yeah, okay. And if you're listening closely, you can detect an accent that's a little different from my accent and different from Arvin's accent.
That same question arises all the time.
Yeah, so where in the world are you from?
Well, I was born in South Africa to Portuguese parents, and lived and grew up there, and actually got inspired through music there and learned music there, and lived in the States, and live in the States actually, for quite a few years, and I have the privilege to have met a lot of great musicians and a lot of great talent, and here I am in Manila, sitting in the studio with you guys, talking about music.
Yeah.
Well, what could be better?
Yeah, I tell you, it's one of the amazing things about the music business is you can take it with you anywhere.
Yes, it is. It is international. Those 12 notes that we all learn really translate all the way across the world. It's great. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we really, we ought to tell you a little bit about just who John Ferreira is and why you're in Asia.
Yeah.
What do you do now?
Well, I do a lot of things musically. Right now I'm here in Manila. I actually recorded some vocalists for a project that I'm working on for Indonesia. It's a television commercial. That's what I do mostly for a living, musically. I do soundtracks and I do scores for television. And came here and found a wonderful singer that sang on a commercial that's going to be airing in Indonesia. And that's step one that brought me over here, besides other personal reasons.
Yeah, okay. And people can guess, you know, it's amazing how many blues people I know are coming here because they're getting hitched up with
There is that.
Yeah, there is that. And
nothing wrong with that. It's all good. It's all good.
It's all good.
It's a beautiful country filled with beautiful people and a lot of energy and positive vibe, and I feel it very good. Like I said, I'm brand new here in Manila.
Feels like home.
Yes, it feels like home really quickly, no doubt.
Yeah.
Been working in Singapore for quite a bit, and in Indonesia. My first time in the Philippines. I must tell you, I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. Great vibe, a lot of music, great artists, great music.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
And one of the things I've learned about John is he's got a music studio in Chicago.
Yep, that's my main that's my hub per se.
Okay, and then you've got a music studio in Cancun, Mexico.
Yes, I have a place in Cancun, Mexico, and I just established one in Singapore where I can try and network through Asia Pacific.
Yeah, and I mean that's globe-trotting, folks, and music has made it possible.
Yeah, and I love sleeping on airplanes. No phones.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah.
You know, you can check your email. You got an excuse. You can actually just get down and relax a little bit.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Since we mentioned your studios, how about let's take a tour of your Chicago studio,
absolutely.
And I hope that the video I found is actually your studio.
Well, let's check it out.
Yeah, okay. Arvin, let it roll.
Make it look good, make it look easy. You look too good, make it look so easy. Effortlessly. You make it look easy. You look so good, make it look too easy. Make it look good, make it look easy. You look too good, make it look so easy. Effortlessly, you make it look easy. You look so good, make it look too easy.
Welcome to Genuine Music. This is the studio, front lobby area. We're a slave to the music, as you can see right here, via the picture. The lounge area, got a TV, Xbox for recreation time. Got a kitchen because artists got to eat. Refrigerator. Just to show you, we truly are starving artists. Yes. Close up on the Corona, that's right. Yeah, so this is where the chill time takes place. And here, we'll start small. This is one production suite right here. A lot of hip hop production gets done in here. So we got the MPC 4000. Off of this computer rig right here, we run a Logic. This is the main control room. Got the Helios board here.
Tell us about the Helios board.
Helios board is, it was actually used in broadcasting. He got, the studio's owner got this one out of an older radio station. Right here. Tons of interesting gear. We got knee compressors and lunchbox pre's and
Instruments for you?
yes.
Jazz bass, P bass, Strat, Music Man, Stingray.
This is the live room, so it gets set up however we need it to. I guess we were recording drums and vocals. I don't think at the same time.
One nice thing about working here, at least one of the reasons I think we and soul people like working here is because we're familiar with the studio. It's set up, it's ready to go. So if a client comes in to work with us, there's no holdups. Dennis being the genius engineer and producer that he is, there wouldn't be any holdups anyway. But it's a comfortable environment where we're always ready to make good music. It's just we don't waste any time making the genuine music.
Chilling under the Crown Royal, which is a must.
The old U87 always sounds good on everything.
Everything. What else we got here? Cole's ribbon.
Yeah, we got a bunch of those, right?
Yeah. A few of these laying around. What else we got around here?
they get incredible drum sounds in this place. Incredible drum sounds, which is really the key to everything.
I think that's it. Anything else, y'all got to come through and see for yourself.
All right. Please do.
I hope we showed you enough to make you want to come and get some genuine music.
You make it look easy. You look so good. Make it look too easy. Make it look good. Make it look easy. You look too good. Make it look so easy.
My name is Cuz, the drummer for the Soul People. Like I say, making it happen here in Chicago. Wonderful facility. Come on out. Right with the band. Get that heat. Get that live music under your belt. Please do. Stop procrastinating. Like your mother always told you, stop procrastinating. Peace.
If you show up at Genuine Work with the Soul People, you will get arrangements, songs crafted for you. For you. And only you.
Make it look good, make it look easy. You look too good, make it look so easy.
Come out to Genuine Music. We'll do some organic music for you, and it will be a blast. Peace.
Make it look easy. You look too good, make it look so easy. Effortlessly, you make it look easy. You look so good, make it
Absolutely have a good time. You will most definitely get your money's worth. It will be stress-free, profoundly musical. What else can I say? And it'll be that good, shy
so
music.
good, make it look too easy. Make it look good, make it look easy. You look too good, make it look so easy. Effortlessly, you make it look easy. You look so good, make it look too easy.
Yeah. Okay, so that is John Ferreira's studio and your crew that looks after it when you go running around the world.
Yes, I'm very lucky. H2O Soul. What can I say? Those guys are phenomenal. It's one of the hip hop bands, and when I say hip hop, it's live, real hip hop, real musicians, and we've done a couple of records, and they're just phenomenal guys. They just they feel music, they do music, they are music, and I can't say how much fun I have producing these guys and being around these guys. It's just so easy.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those experiences that you just, when you find a group of people and you get in the groove. We do endless long hours there, and it's just a blast, and the time just goes by. I mean, it's amazing. It's a great experience.
Well,
great group of guys.
Yeah, I tell you.
Yep.
Now, not only do you have your crew there, of course, you've got all kinds of musicians coming through recording. Who are some of the people, and particularly the ones that would be of interest to a blues audience? Who are some of the people who come through there?
Wow. We've had quite a number of. Being a production studio and doing music for film, which is basically what we are. Besides, we do produce bands, we do other kinds of things, of course, in the music world. In the blues world, we had people like Mike Bourne.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Mike
yeah.
I'm a big fan of Mike. He's an extraordinary talent. He's amazing. I mean, not only just as a guitar player, as a singer, and as a composer, as a writer. He writes incredible tunes. We've had him there. We've had Howard Levy. Who I think we're going to feature him a little bit on the show. We've had Cheryl Wilson. We've had Coco Taylor. We've had Peaches. We've had, I could go on for a while here. We've had, Genuine's been around in Chicago for about 15 years.
Yeah.
So, we've got a bit of a history there. So if you ask me who's been there, I could be here for a while.
And not only have you had the studio, but when you first arrived in Chicago, you actually went out and gigged around.
I did. You know, it's you know, okay, being fresh off the boat from Europe.
Yeah.
You know, so when I left Africa, I first went to Europe, and landed in Portugal, which was kind of a not a very interesting music scene, I thought. Although it does have its good things. I went to South France, and there I met some incredible musicians, and I started getting involved more in the jazz genre. Which was great, you know. So I played around with a lot of people there, and then headed back over to New York City, which somehow, you know how it is, you know, music. We travel, we go, we move with the flow, and then ended up in Chicago.
Yeah. Okay. And when you got there, where did you hang out?
Well, actually, the first place that I really wanted to check out was called the Checkerboard Lounge, which I think I was mentioning to you guys. And the Checkerboard Lounge, for me, is probably the most authentic blues bar that I found in Chicago at the time. You know, there's quite a few blues places in Chicago. Oh, Chicago is blues.
Yeah, it is the blues.
But the Checkerboard Lounge was really interesting for me. First of all, it's like in a Martin Luther King and 44th, 45th Street.
Wow.
And you know, you actually literally you show up, you pull up, and you get out of your car, and you hear gunshots. Hello, if you're not in Chicago, you don't hear gunshots. You're not in Chicago. and you go into these places and like the Checkerboard Lounge, and you find the most amazing talent. You know, you find from old timers that have been doing this all their lives to the new guys who are learning to do it, like I was there. And I just showed up with the bass to just try and sit in, see if I could fit in. And of course, once hey, how you doing? They're like, where you from? And they were so nice and warm. And I got up on stage and I started playing with these guys, and they taught me.
Yeah, you played even though you don't even know them.
Even though I didn't know them at all, and it was such a learning experience because you know it's music, so you don't really talk, you play. And you listen, and you listen and you feel, and you go with the flow, and they teach you too. You know, after we get done with the set, they sit down and they go like, you know, for White Boy, not bad. But you know, they'll give you certain cues and they start telling stories. And I think a lot of time you learn a lot playing blues and playing music by listening to stories and what it's all about. And it's about character. It's about personality of the music. It's about the depth of what makes the music click. And it was an amazing experience. So I'd go back there, you know, and I'd go back there on like a Tuesday night, a Wednesday night, a Monday night when there's nobody there because I didn't want to sit up there and like, you know, this guy was just learning how to play, you know, blues, you know, because you know everybody plays blues, but only certain people play blues. And I wanted to know how to play blues. So that was my first experience to actually interact with blues.
That's very cool.
The real deal. And I'd go back there and I'd show up. And back in the day, I'd have this old Oldsmobile, you know, from 1976, I think it was, one of these Olds 88, I think it was. One of those big cars where I can, you know, bring my amp and it was just awesome. I mean, Chicago is definitely a very wealthy blues environment. It's very underground, but it's very visible and it's there.
You know, that's the thing that you just hit one of the key words of what's happening in Asia, too. You know, there's blues all over Asia, but it's kind of invisible until you sort of dig under the surface and you start getting connected.
Well, that's a beautiful thing about it. And I actually like that. I think, you know, it's like finding a rough diamond and you start to and you're like, wow, there's a diamond. And I think that's one of the things that Asia has. There's a lot of rough diamonds in Asia, not only in blues but across the spectrum in music. It's just finding those rough diamonds and discovering them and polishing them and figure out the value and the artistry and the depth that exists within all these people and these artists. And I think Asia is definitely booming in that region. I think the attention, the spotlight is turning to Asia for different reasons. Not necessarily music. But music is coming along with all the package. Yes, and I think there's growth, and Asia is going to be on the map. Musically, more than what it is right now.
Very interesting. Plus, they can add their culture music into blues, right?
Well, you know, blues is a culture. It is an existing culture. It's just defining that culture and getting involved in that culture and exploring that culture and bringing, yes, of course, bringing the Asian nuances of the interpretation of the blues.
Wow, bro.
Because blues is blues.
Yeah.
And everybody that plays blues interprets it in their own way, whether you're in Chicago, New York, Atlanta, wherever you are, or Singapore, or here in Manila, or Jakarta, which is a big blues scene. Everybody just interprets the blues their way.
Their way, yeah.
But it's still got its pillars, which makes it the blues.
Just what like Mr. Tom said. Blues is played by the blues players, right?
Exactly. And blues players are not necessarily Chicagoans. They are musicians all across the world that just play the blues and express their feelings across blues. And that's the beautiful thing I feel about blues is the emotional part of it, the feeling, and how it resonates amongst people.
Very interesting.
That's it. That's That's it. Okay.
Yeah, you got to communicate. You know, that's what blues does. It transports a feeling, an emotion.
Okay.
And blues is blues. And that's why it's so powerful and beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, those of you want to know more about our guest John Ferreira, we uncovered an article.
Oh boy,
Arvin, maybe you can.
This better be good. Dry my clothes
put that
on.
up there. And anyway, what we did is we put it on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
And so go to www.facebook.com/BluesAsia, and you will find a notation there about John and the link to a fabulous article in Mix Magazine, which is the pinnacle of recording engineer magazines, and you'll find out a lot about John there. Now, we've been talking a lot. We're going to listen to some music. And
Let's do that.
And then we've got some extraordinary stuff coming up. I mean, we've just touched the tip of the iceberg on this show tonight. Anyway, let's listen to Howard Levy.
Oh, my God.
And harmonica player, and what you're going to hear is a harmonica player playing blues. He's going to play, each chorus is in a different key, but he's using only one harmonica.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this, blues players, when they see this, their jaws drop.
And the harmonica only can play with their keys, right?
Well, it's supposed to be. Everybody thinks that you're stuck with the key of the harmonica you're playing.
Unless you're playing the chromatic.
Yeah. But Howard Levy sort of broke that myth. Yeah. And let's watch him here. He's going to play 6 choruses of blues, each one in a different key, but with one harmonica. Howard, go. Go, Howard.
Yeah.
Where are you, Howard? Whoops. Oh, dear. Okay, well, we get reorganized here, and Howard's going to miss it. Sorry about that, Howard. Anyway, while we're recueing this thing here, I met Howard back in 1992.
Oh, wow.
And I had just come off playing with a band here in Manila called Newly Industrialized Combo. And we specialized in industrial strength blues. And that experience, I thought before I joined that band, I thought I knew how to play the harmonica. And then I realized, whoops.
Welcome to Howard Levy's world.
And
amazing talent.
Yeah, and so I said, I got to go out and find out what's going on. And I went to 2 harmonica gatherings. One was a big one in the U.S. called SPA, the Society for the Preservation and Advancement of the Harmonica. And then a week later, I went to the World Harmonica Championships in Trossingen. That 2-week period was the highlight, maybe, of my life. It changed everything for me, that trip. And I met Howard, and wow, Okay, and you'll see why. Okay, we're queued up now for Howard Levy. Okay, I mean, every time I hear that, it just blows me away.
Well, it's genius comes into play when you hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me tell you the reason why we're going to be playing a lot of Howard Levy's material tonight. And it's because John is a good friend of Howard, records him a lot on commercials, and when we had dinner a couple of nights ago and Howard's name came up and we started talking, and John said, "Hey, I can call up Howard." And he got in touch with Howard, and we have tonight Howard's personal permission to share with you some of the very best of his material. So Howard, I know you're going to be seeing this, and thanks a lot for letting
Thank
us
you,
share
Howard.
it. Yeah.
Like we say on the stage, you rock.
And in any case, how did you meet Howard, and why do you hire him for, I mean, commercials of all things?
Well, first of all, I got to say I'm very lucky to be able to have Howard play on some of my tracks. He's really incredible. I started working with Howard. I don't even remember what year it was. It was somewhere in the 90s. I had an Oldsmobile commercial I was working on, and we needed, it was the Appalachian Spring, and we needed a harmonica player, and Howard Levy's name came up, and I didn't really know of Howard. I should have, but I didn't. And we called Howard, and Howard came in. We were recording at Chicago Recording Studios, CRC in Chicago, and he came in, and it just blew my mind. I mean, I was like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, really, it was like in a 20-minute session. I mean, one take, done. I mean, I just did another one just in case we erased the previous one.
Wow.
Amazing. And that was the first experience working with him. Was actually on Oldsmobile, which now Oldsmobile doesn't exist anymore, and here we are. We still exist. Lovely. So we did that, and then I had another experience with Howard. That we were doing the Manager Figaro for a Port Consul campaign, and we needed the Manager Figaro played with the recorder, and I was looking for recorder players, people that played the recorder in Chicago, and so I called my business manager and people around, and like we're looking, and really nobody knew of somebody that could play that on a recorder. So I go like, well, let me call Howard, see maybe he'll know someone. And this is so interesting. So I call Howard, and Howard, I told him what I was looking for, and he goes like, hold on, and I hear the phone like go down, and it was silent for a while, and I hear like some scattle, and then I started hearing from the background the major figure on the recorder, and I'm talking about it, and he's playing it real time. And I was like, no way. And he gets to the phone, he picks it up, he's talking to me and playing this thing on the recorder. And he goes like, so you think this will work? I'm like, Howard, can you come down now, please?
Yeah. You got the gig.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, so he came down, and obviously he killed it. And then he busted out these ocarinas.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I can do it on ocarinas too. I was like, wow. Okay, well, that's it. Okay, I'm done. I mean, done.
Okay.
So that was my first few encounters with Howard, and then I heard him play piano too.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's another level that this man is phenomenal. He's just incredible. His musicality, his artistry, his
very
emotion,
versatile.
His level of musicianship, his caliber.
Yeah.
is very rare in the world. I rank him top in the world. Yeah, actually. And
on top of all that, he's just a down-to-earth, nice, friendly guy.
He's a beautiful man. He's so friendly, so open. Like I said, when I sent him when we met, and I haven't seen Howard probably in a couple of years.
Yeah.
And I sent him an email, Howard, and I'm doing the show with Tom, and he's Howard. He's Howard Levy. He's a beautiful person. He's an amazing artist, and he's Howard Levy. I don't know how else to say it. He's just a beautiful man, and I really respect him immensely. I think he is probably the best musician I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
And I've worked with a lot of people, and he ranks up there.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Love the man.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Howard, if you're listening, love you, man.
Well, I tell you what. We, and this is one of the things that Howard has given us permission to play. There's a major video that was put out by Hohner.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of a biography and musical insights into Howard. And this video, it gives you a real insight into what kind of person he is and what kind of music he plays. So let's roll this next video and enjoy it, folks.
Hi, I'm Howard Levy. I started harmonica when I was 18 and started piano when I was 8, and so I was already a good piano player by the time I picked up this. From the age of 8, I had loved music and been talented at it. I had a natural ability, but you know, with anything like that, you have to work real hard. I mean, you can have a natural ability, but that does not make you a professional musician. I grew up in New York, but a friend of mine there got into Chicago blues, and he was the drummer in our little high school band that we had. We were just a circle of friends, and we started playing together. And he turned me on to Paul Butterfield, Junior Wells, Little Walter, James Cotton. I'd say those were the 4 guys that he listened to. And then he started playing harmonica, and he got really good really quickly. He had a natural feel for it. He was also a violinist, a very talented guy. And I thought, well, you know, if he could pick it up and sound really good within a matter of months, maybe I should check this out, you know. So I went to Manny's Music on West 48th Street, New York, and spent $2.25 on my first Marine band in the key of G. And then I went over to his house. I said, okay, now teach me how to play. Well, here's, you put your mouth on it like this, blah, blah, blah. I say, how do you bend a note? He said, I'm sorry, I can't teach you how to do that. So what do you mean you can't teach me? So, well, it's this thing, it's inside the mouth, I can't really explain it. Oh. I've never been confronted with an invisible instrument before. And this is the amazing thing about this instrument, that it's the only instrument I know that's totally invisible to the person playing it. And there's no hands and no eyes. And so it's really a feel, almost more like riding a bicycle than playing an instrument. And it's for that reason, I think, it is incredibly, you get incredibly absorbed in this, you go into this world when you play the harmonica. Most of us, you notice when we play, most of us have our eyes closed, we look like we're in a trance, and it's because we are. As soon as I figured out how to bend notes, I started playing blues licks that I had heard other guys do, because I was a very good pianist already, so I had a really good ear, and I was writing very advanced jazz tunes, so I was sort of in these two worlds. I was in this advanced jazz piano world, and then I was in this learning how to play the blues harmonica world. And I wanted to connect this instrument with that. And just even to be able to play simple things like the minor third in the second octave, which wasn't on the instrument. As I started exploring the instrument more and more, I realized that there were notes that weren't there, and it was very frustrating to me as a piano player who, if you go into a practice room at a school, let's say, and there's a piano that has a broken key or two on it, you're not going to want to sit and play it. You're going to go to another room until you find one that has all the keys. So I said, well, I have to figure out how to get these missing notes. Because I'm 18, what do I know? I wasn't a great harmonica player, I was just a kid who started playing. And that's why, for me, the development of my playing those things went parallel with the development of my harmonica playing. But that note that I got, it was the, so I go, just like any other blues guitar player, just straight across the neck, so easy. On the harmonica, you can't do it, and so until I did that. And so I'm just amazed that more people didn't do it before me. I was just really surprised. There are two that I know of who did. One recording of a guy who hit a note on a record in 1931, and then Will Scarlett, who was doing this in the 1960s apparently. So I'm really the first one to come along and integrate these notes into a musical style and make the instrument into a fully chromatic 12-tone instrument capable of playing in any key. So instead of just going, I could play in that key. So I'm playing blues. This is an A-flat harmonica, so I'm playing in G-flat on it. Or you're... And I see the piano keyboard in my mind to do this, being a piano player, and that's my reference point, to get these things in tune and to play coherent musical lines, is this. I'm seeing, you know... it's coming out of this. People send me stuff, I mean, from various different harmonica companies, and guys will customize harmonicas and give them to me, and sometimes they're really good, the customized ones. Sometimes I'll like harmonicas from different companies, but I always prefer the sound of a Hohner. It's the one I started on, it's the ones that, due to the size of the reeds, the overblows and overdraws work better on them. They just do. I started on Marine Band, and then for years I played the Golden Melody. And when I was playing Golden Melody, I didn't know why I liked it so much more. Years later, someone said, "You know, Howard, that's the first diatonic harmonica made in tempered tuning." And I said, "Oh, really? What's that?" I mean, I knew what tempered tuning was, but I didn't know that before the Golden Melody, which is why it's called melody, all the diatonic harmonicas that anyone made were tuned to just intonation, or something close to it, which is the natural tuning system based on the overtone series, so that all the chords sound really in tune. But some of the melody notes, if you play them singly, will sound very flat. And enough players wanted to play melodies on this instrument that Hohner started making the Golden Melody. And so I played that probably for 20 years, maybe something like that, until Joe Falisco started customizing marine bands for me. And I liked his customizing so much, and I had always really liked a wooden comb anyway. I wished that there were a wooden comb harmonica that I could play. And then he found some wood that didn't swell, and put the special 20 reed cover plates on top of it. So I have a very much of a mongrel here. It's a combination of a marine band, a special 20, and this special wood that doesn't swell. One of the ways that I learn new music on the harmonica is if I was on long tours on the road, and you have a lot of time to yourself, and you could do one of several things. You could get drunk, you know, get depressed, read books, whatever, or you could just practice. And so I practiced a lot when I was on some of these long road trips, and just said, okay, why don't I learn how to play Vol de Mosca on the harmonica? Or sometimes I practice while I'm driving, you know, one hand on the wheel, one hand on the harmonica. Which hand do I think I do it this way. So I practice while I drive as well. Since I like to play, quote, music on this instrument, I feel that usually I can come up with something that sounds right for the tune, for whatever style of music I'm playing in. And especially if the music has some sort of emotional depth, then it's a lot easier for me to play. It's hard for me to play music where I can't believe in the music.
Okay, well now, that is just an awesome,
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Wow. All I can say is wow.
Yeah, it's just...
Very incredible guy.
Yeah. And one of the things I wanted to mention at this point is that, you know, we musicians, we learn from each other. And one of the important things I like to tell people is find musicians to hang out with, or conferences you can go to where you can learn firsthand from other musicians.
Sure.
Yeah. And I was very lucky because I mentioned before I went to those two conferences back in 1992, and it really changed my life. And then I was able to go to the Harmonica Summit in 2000, which was in honor of Howard Levy. So I was able to spend
Wow,
several
that
days
sounds-
with him, you know, and sit down and drink coffee, and I learned so much. Now, out here in Asia, and I bet actually of our listeners in Asia, I bet very few people know about Howard Levy.
Yeah.
But there is a chance. Howard sort of mentioned to us, and I guess we can say this, that he may be out here in Asia in August, I think it is.
Yes, he mentioned doing something in Hong Kong, possibly. It's tentative, but you know, it's still a little whiles away. But I'm sure that if Howard wants to, Howard will make it happen.
Yeah. And something else, and Howard, this is just a cue for you. In August, if everything goes the way it should, we will be having the 9th Asia Pacific Harmonica Competition in Malaysia
Yeah.
in August. And it's a 4-day event. I happened to go to the one a couple of years ago in Singapore, and we had
Yeah, lots of
about
harmonicas,
2,000
right?
Yeah, we had about 2,000 people there.
Wow.
And lots of different harmonicas.
Lots
Yeah.
of, playing different kinds of harmonicas, and I mean, it was just, wow. And so maybe, Howard, you can tie up with the people that'll be putting that conference together, and more people in Asia will get a chance to actually meet you and firsthand learn from you.
Yeah.
And then one other thing I want to mention is young people these days are so lucky. There's so much on the internet that they can learn from. There are also DVDs. Would you show the DVD over there? This is Howard's DVD. It was put out back in 1992, I think. And a harmonica player, off of that single DVD, he can spend the rest of his life
Oh yeah.
learning.
Don't doubt that.
The stuff that's on that CD. And everything that Howard is teaching on there is it's easy to understand. He makes it clear, but it'll take you a lifetime to to play
Yeah,
around
to
with.
perfect it, yes.
Yeah. And anyway, I really recommend that DVD. And even though I've had it now for 20 years, I still find it refreshing to look at. So, my advice, if folks out here in Asia, go out and get a harmonica. You gotta have one in your pocket.
That and the DVD.
Yeah, you really are Howard's friend.
No, well, really, because just a harmonica won't do you much good if you don't,
Well,
get
that's
some
true.
good advice on how to use it.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, make these connections and try to find conferences you can go to. There are harmonica associations in virtually every Asian country.
Speaking of conference, Brendan Power will be coming to Asia, right?
He certainly will, and this is another tickle. Listen to our next hour,
Yeah.
because we've got something super special about Brendan Power, and he will be. He's in Asia right now. He's in India,
Oh, yeah.
and he'll end up here in Manila. We'll talk about that more in our next segment. Anyway, we want to move on because, good grief, we've almost consumed our full hour here. Let's see, we may want to, I think what we're going to do is, I hate to, we're going to go over, folks, and we're going to next, you heard glimpses of Amazing Grace, but you've got to hear the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this performance is now legendary. And so let's roll the video and listen to Howard's full rendition of Amazing Grace. Let's see if we can cue it up there. And he did this at a conference spot.
Yeah, that is just awesome. And John, you know, harmonicas, you know, and for so many people, they sound squeaky and shrill, and they don't have any body to it. How do you record a harmonica to really show it off?
Wow, good question. A lot of people use the bullet mics. Howard has got his Sennheiser. Howard actually walks into the studio and he brings his harmonica collection and he's like, okay, here's the microphone, and we don't argue. Yes, and that Sennheiser sounds great. I mean, I've done other harmonica players and I have used the bullet mic. But in Howard's situation, we just go with the Sennheiser. He's comfortable with it. It sounds phenomenal. I mean, I don't really think it's the microphone, but you know, it does capture all the frequencies and the dynamic range that he does play in. So with Howard in specific, we use his Sennheiser. It sounds great. I mean, I honestly don't think it's the microphone; it's the performer. But you know.
Yeah. Well, it may be a combination because
yeah, you know, because a lot of harmonica players, some of them hold the bullet with the harmonica and they play with it, and you get different. They get different tones out of it in a sense. Yeah. I'm not a harmonica player, so I'm probably talking wrong here. But as far as recording it with Howard, I just listened to how he wanted to do it. Yeah. And he obviously knows his instrument very well, like we just saw. So yeah, with him we use the Sennheiser, and it sounds great. I mean, it sounds great. I mean, I think you can record Howard with the SM57. It'll sound great regardless. But so that's a harmonica, like Howard just mentioned. It's one of those hidden secret instruments because you can't see it. You can't, you know. So how do you do it? You know. Yeah. So it's a very close proximity miking technique. But yeah, like you said, it's one of those, it is an invisible instrument. Yeah, it's amazing. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, and then the one of the things that I've always admired Howard about the most is his tone. I mean, it's so warm, and it's got this really nice vibrato to it. I just think his tone that he gets out of an instrument, and most people, you know, they just can't, they don't get that, and it takes work to get there. But it's one of the objectives is tone.
Yeah, well, you know, my experiences being lucky enough to work with Howard, is when Howard's performing, you know, it's basically you know, a head to toe experience. I mean, his whole body, he's performing.
That's
it's not just a guy standing there with harmonica playing. He's really he's consumed from head to toe, performing whatever piece he's doing. And mind you, I wasn't doing you know, his best work. I was just recording him on some commercials which he came in, and probably for him some of it was like, you know, geez, I have to play on this. But I'm like, yes, please do. And you know, he did a great job. But yeah, just watching him perform, it consumes him.
Yeah,
I mean, he's so into it. It's 100%.
Yeah.
You know, it's not 99. It's 100.
Yeah. That's the sound of the pro.
It's a depth.
Yeah.
It's a depth.
Yeah, and there are a lot of harmonica players. They talk about the instrument really becomes almost like part of your body. And your comment that, I mean, he's playing with his whole body.
Yes, it is.
And this little instrument it almost, I mean, it's part of your body almost. And the way you get those bends and everything, you know, you're using your body so intimately with that instrument.
You know, it's one of those instruments as a producer, because that's what I mostly do, is produce music. When it comes to the harmonica, it's hard to explain to what you want.
Yes.
Because it's so personable, and it's so pointy. You know, if a guitar, a piano, a drum, or a bass player, you can kind of, you know, give your opinions and your influence or what you're thinking.
Yeah.
A harmonica, it's like it's a secret weapon. And that's why, you know, with Howard, you know, I just let him unleash his weapon, and I don't have to say much. Actually, just record. As long as we make sure we record it and we keep the take in good shape.
Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking about unleashing Howard, let's unleash Howard on just a very brief exhibition of his blues chops.
Yeah.
So let's cue up the next video. This is Evanston Express.
Yeah, my neighborhood.
Yeah. And his hometown, where he lives now.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
You know, if I can just to interrupt you for a
Sure.
second. He's probably the only musician I know in the world that doesn't need a band.
Yeah.
He can put a show on his own. I mean, just listening to that, it's just amazing. It's that looks like it was recorded at Chicago Recording Company.
Yeah.
And on his own, with a microphone, no band, you can listen to that man play for hours.
Yeah. And one of the things people talk about this instrument as being an orchestra in your pocket.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what it is in the right hands. It is an orchestra in your pocket. Now, one reason I was so excited that we could do this segment tonight is we have a harmonica player here in the Philippines, 22 years old.
Yeah.
And he is the most promising young harmonica player in the country, and he happens to be in Arvin's band. Tell us about Ian.
Yeah, he's in my band, and actually his girlfriend is my cousin, so we treated each other as a cousin.
Yeah. Okay.
And we sleep together sometimes and play all night, jam along.
Yeah.
And learning stops together.
Yeah, and that's what has made your band so special, is that you got that very, very close tie between you.
Yeah.
And one of the things that really impresses me about Ian is that he is always working on something new.
Yeah.
And I get a text message from him, several times a week, saying, I'm working on tongue slaps this week. And he really works on it.
Yeah.
More so than any other harmonica player I've run into in the Philippines in my 25 years. And also, Ian and I, we talk a lot about tongue blocking.
Yeah.
Ian, watch this next video. Okay? Let's watch this. Advanced tongue blocking and see what he can produce.
And the way I'm visualizing this, as I visualize most things, is the two hands on the piano. So I see the right hand notes going like this. And I see the left hand notes going like this. Because now that I'm accompanying a melody with an arpeggiated pattern of a G chord and a D chord, which is all the bottom of the harmonica gives me, that's how I'm seeing it in my mind, as the two hands on the piano. So the middle of the piece. So that time, what I'm doing is I'm using the D as a drone, the same way that a violinist would use the open D string on his violin. So I'm switching back and forth between the D that's the second whole draw and the D that's the third whole blow. The same way that I would go, except that the left side of my mouth in this case is moving back and forth between two different holes. But you're not aware of it if I do it well enough. So you can practice going D and F sharp, in other words, 2-3 draw, 3-4 blow, 2/4 draw, 3/5 blow, 2/5 draw. And if you do them all smoothly and move the left hand side of your mouth smoothly, it just sounds very natural and normal. So, and then is 3 and 5 blow, and then I just move, get my tongue out of the way and just play 3 and 4. And that is I'm playing one draw and expanding my embouchure outward from 1 and 2 to 1 and 3 to 1 and 4 to 1 and 5. And then which is 1 and 6, 2 and 4, 3 and 6. You can end it all sorts of ways. So when I do this kind of thing, people say, man, it sounds like you have two tongues, or it sounds like you're blowing out and in at the same time. It's impossible. Well, there are very few things that you can do like this, but if you find things that you can do like this, it sure is a wonderful sound, and it really makes people's jaws drop, because it's not that hard to do so much as it is. It just takes some knowledge of harmony that I have from the piano, and it takes a tremendous amount of concentration and working on very precisely playing these different intervals on the harmonica, blocking one hole, two holes, switching from one side of your mouth to the other for the melody. It just takes a lot of work.
Awesome. He makes it look so easy.
I know. And anyway, Ian, that is your homework assignment for this weekend.
Might take a little longer than the weekend.
Yeah, it might take a little longer. But, you know, one of the things in this day and age that is just so remarkable for the young players that are coming along is you can study with Howard Levy.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. In fact, let's watch this next video and you'll see how you can study with Howard Levy.
School. This is a place to learn and socialize. Here's how it works. You enroll for $60 for 3 months. And $60 is less than it costs to take one lesson from me if you came to study with me in person. And what you can do is you can watch any of the copious video lessons that I've put up here, and you can watch these 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no matter where in the world you live, online here at this website. The beauty of this learning platform is that you can record your practice sessions and you can upload them to me for my critique and review.
Howard, hi. I'm having trouble with my bends and the overblows, my overdraws, and my separation of notes. So if you could help me out with that, that would be great. Thanks.
And I'll respond to you. We pair these two videos as a master class, just as if you and I were sitting in a room together. Upload them to me for my critique and review.
Howard, hi. I'm having trouble with my bends and the overblows, my overdraws, and my separation of notes. So if you could help me out with that, that would be great. Thanks.
And I'll respond to you. We pair these two videos as a master class, just as if you and I were sitting in a room together, or in a room with a whole bunch of harmonica players sitting around, and you play for me, I play for you. I'll try to help you with the things that you're working on. If you do a great job, I'll say it's a really great job. And if you need work, I'll say, here, you need work, and here's what you should practice, and try to do this again and send it to me again. It's a progressive thing. And everyone learns from this because these master classes are put up on the website for everyone to view. It's not just my teaching material that I have recorded that's going to be on there to review. And then there are social aspects to the site as well. You can create your own student page where you can upload your performances, videos, photos, whatever you want. And you can make friends with other harmonica players who are involved in this. There's chats and forums to do that. You'll be a part of a worldwide community of harmonica players gathered here to share and to learn from each other, as well as just learning from me. And I'll learn from you as well, because we all really love this crazy little instrument here. And so I hope that you take me up on this, and that I'll see you inside. Thanks.
Yeah, you can learn from Howard Levy. And Ian, I know you'll watch this sometime in the next 2 or 3 days, and because you are the most promising young harmonica player in the Philippines, I am going to sponsor you to take that course from Howard. And Howard, expect in the next week or so, you're going to have a new student named Ian LaFamia from the Philippines. Okay, now that brings us to an end on this segment, and you'll want to stay tuned this week for segment 2, because we've got a lot more exciting stuff, and John's going to stick around. And yeah, and so we've got some amazing things coming up in the next segment as well. So thanks for tuning in, and Howard, again, thanks so much for letting us share that incredible material. And I'll hope I'll be seeing you over here in Asia in August. Fingers crossed.
Yes, we're going to do that.
Okay. So anyway, let's get away and do some business now.
You are Face Radio, the worldwide Pinoy music portal. It's the